All right. Well, I'm back. And I don't know. It's July 15th. Yeah, I got my glasses on. Nobody's watching me, so I did this one as a surprise. We'll see if anybody tunes in. I just posted it to Facebook, so if you're there, tune in and enjoy. Look, I've got a viewer. Whoever you are, sign up and tell me what you're doing. It's Thursday. I like doing these on Thursday. I like doing them this time of day. I got some things I want to talk about. One of the weird things I want to talk about are these things. This thing right here, but I'm going to save that for later. But I am really intrigued by this, and it's kind of interesting, you know. I guess we can start with I don't know, St. Louis. Here we are. It's the middle of summer. The dog days are almost here. It's hot. It's warm. The thunderstorms are rolling through. I love that about this city. Except it knocked down a bunch of trees recently, and there's been a lot of damage. But, you know, man, when them storms come through, it's pretty cool. It really is. You know it's raining. You know it's a thunderstorm. There's no doubt, no confusion about it. It is really coming through solid. And we've had a couple good ones. Rivers are up. Water. You know, I always talk about water, but water has been a popular thing to talk about this week, you know, in that Missouri, we got a lot of it right here at the confluence of the Missouri and Mississippi rivers. That's where St. Louis was put, here just downstream of where those rivers come together. And what's really neat is when the rivers come together, you can get up in this tower there and you can see them come together. And when they come together and you look down at it from above, one half is green and one half is brown. The Missouri is really green. The Mississippi is really brown. And they go together like divided for a long period of time, you know, probably 100 yards, 200 yards before it starts to mesh together. And it's really kind of a neat thing to see. You know, the rivers are both huge when they come together, and the bounty that was created by that, you know, it's why all the eagles come here in the winter. We have many eagles that winter here just because the fishing is so good there. And, you know, obviously, when we get to these pages of my presentation today, you're going to see that this was, I don't know if any of these are really going to show up on the camera here. You know, this is kind of neat. Let me see if I can, any of these you can look at. Yeah, I think you'll be able to see some of these. So I'll show you some more of these pictures later, like that one. That's a really good one. And I'll explain what we're looking at there a little later. But water, you know, the streams here in Missouri, the springs. And if you don't know, if you're from out of town, get on the Google machine here and push the Googling buttons. And Joe Chisholm just doubled my audience. Oh, Joe. Oh, gosh, I love you. It's great that you're here. But Google, get on the Google machine here. Joe knows how to use the Google machine. He's a pro at that. And look up things like Missouri Springs and specifically Round Spring, Greer Spring, Blue Spring, you know, any of those. Watch some videos. And especially if you're out west, like Colorado and anywhere over there where you're all fighting for that little scratch of water that's coming out of the Colorado River. Look at what happens here. Look at what that water looks like when it comes out of the ground. And that is all over the state. It's because we have this thing, if you want to dig into it deeper, called karst topography, and that's Karst, karst topography. And that's why we are the cave state here in Missouri, which is a really cool thing. It's why Jesse James hid out here, because, you know, you can go down into them hills and live in the caves, and there's water and food, and it's like a jungle with a lot of water, and it's fresh, drinkable water, and lots of caves to hole up in. That's why they could never find him. Why some guy had to shoot him in the back. He's quite the local folk hero around these parts, because he really did like a bunch of Robin Hood type stuff for the locals down there. You know, well, that's enough about that. We're going to refer back to more of the initial that topography and how it affects the city of St. Louis here in just a little bit. But real estate, that's what I've been doing. And wow, what a crazy scene it is here. You know, I've got buyers that want to buy houses, buyers that want to buy nightclubs, buyers that want to buy buildings. And I can find things, but I can't find things, you know, and I'll admit that we have put a number of different offers in on properties here in St. Louis for mostly investment properties and whatnot. But man, it's like a bidding war and a beauty contest, you know, and you got buyers that are having to pay the closing costs and pay the taxes and all these nutty incentives, put down a ton of earnest money, you know, and it's like, it's madness. It is officially madness. It is a cuckoo, bizarro world, you know. But hey, great for the market, great for the sellers, hard for the buyers, especially residential. Man, that is just a bag of nuts that you can't figure out. But it'll settle down. People will calm down here. It's kind of like the roaring 20s after the 1918 pandemic. You know, everybody's out of their houses, taking their masks off and going crazy, taking their masks off. Have we all done that? I'm sure we're all vaccinated. I am a Moderna man. I feel it made me stronger and somewhat invincible. So I'm into that, and I hope that you are as well. You know, I was invincible already. In fact, I consider myself bulletproof, but we'll see how that works out in the long run. I don't know. I haven't been wearing my mask. I've been going out and doing things, eating some meals and checking things out. I'm out looking at a lot of property in the daytime, but yet there's the Delta variant, you know, and you have these lovely anti-vaxxers, of which I know a few. It's amazing. The more the people that are the anti-vaxxers, I don't get them, but hey, you know, I hope the best for you, and I just hope that it all works out and that we're all happy and healthy and that this doesn't come back, because I know there's a lot of concerts happening, a lot of venues are opening up, a lot of people that I love and respect are going back to work. And I feel that that is super important. But I also urge caution and diligence in protecting yourself so that this doesn't get bad again. That would really suck if somehow a new version of this made everyone sick again. I don't want it. Spot, come here. You in here? Spot, come here. Come up here. Come on. Hey, come here. Come on. Say hi. There's Spot. He was sleeping. He's enjoying his day. He's like, yeah, I don't want to be on camera. Well, that's Spot. He's a good boy. He was sleeping. And I woke him up to come up here. Got my first listing. That's a big deal. It's a commercial property downtown. It's a world famous bar. It has a bunch of buildings and a huge parking lot with it. And it is really cool. It's a big deal. Gonna have a big coming out party for it here next week. Right now it's signed, and we're getting pictures made and brochures made and signs made, but it's a big deal, and it's my first one. So I'm really excited about it. and I'll share more about that once I've got the website up and running, and it'll be a big splash, a big to-do, a big splash. The storms I talked about, we've had some great ones. Clubs, I mentioned clubs. Some have closed. Some new ones are opening. You've got the factory out in Chesterfield Valley opening this week with their Dead Mouse show. I've got some great friends working there. Brian Karp is the guy running it. Tom Rothery got hired on there. It's really a neat thing. I went for a tour. It's very similar to Don's Mission Ballroom out there in Denver, or something like the 930 Club, maybe, somewhere kind of in between those two. But it's a really neat venue. I urge you in the touring community to give it a look. Reach out. It's gonna be a great venue and a great place to play. They've got like 3 or 4 venues opening up out in that part of town to cater to people that frankly don't want to drive into St. Louis, feel maybe it's too dangerous. Maybe it's too dangerous. I think that is probably the top shelf reason, and we need to do all we can to change that. St. Louis, make it a better place. Love one another. Get out there. Make your neighborhood better. Feed people. Make people feel welcome. Make them comfortable. And try to make it where crime is not the big deal it is. Hopefully we can do that. Hopefully we can make a better place, because, I am a big St. Louis advocate. Pardon me. I got up really early. I'm a big St. Louis advocate. I think it's a really neat place, and what we have here is really special. We can't let the dark side win. And by dark side, I do not mean color. I mean vibe. We cannot let the darkness that is, crime and poverty and separationism divide the city. It's been a divided city for so long. We've got to figure out a way to bring together the people of St. Louis, the different communities, the different races, the different cultures, because that's what makes St. Louis cool, is our cultural diversity. All the immigrants that have come here over the years, whether they wanted to or not, people were forced to come here. Then a lot of people ended up here, a lot, I think, because of the geography of the land. When you were trying to get west and go west, it ended here. Going west ended in St. Louis because of the river. Obviously, it was a big thing to get across. Once you got across it, we had a very bountiful area here. A lot of water, a lot of timber, a lot of game to trap and hunt and eat, and fish. So it was kind of the end after Missouri, after kind of St. Louis, and especially on the other side of Kansas City, man. If you've driven that stretch of 70, you know that once you get out into Kansas, that's, you better have a wagon full of stuff like water and food, and then what the hell, the Rocky Mountains? You had to look at those and be like, well, whose idea was this? Cletus? We're not going to get across that. And then what, So once you got across the Rockies, then it was more desert. It had to be a struggle. It really did. And so I think a lot of people decided maybe we'll just stay here. So it wasn't probably what they looked for or what they wanted, but it was where they ended up. And there's a lot of us here now, so we might as well make the best of it. Get along, love your neighbor, feed your neighbor, start a community garden, meet the people around you, get out, do fun stuff, be an adventurer. Hopefully people will embrace that attitude. And for clubs, if anybody is selling a nightclub or wanting to buy a nightclub, I'm tending to start focusing on that world a lot in what are the different venues that are coming up for sale, are available. And I'm trying to focus on that as well, learning about the market and who wants in and who wants out. Because a lot of people apparently have clubs that don't want them anymore, especially here post-pandemic. They're wanting to retire. They're tired. You see people wanting out of it. And then I get a lot of inquiries from people that are like, hey, I want to buy a nightclub. I want to open a club. I want to be in the 3 a.m. district. Because in St. Louis, downtown, you can be open till 3 a.m. On the other side of the river, you don't have to close. You can stay open all night long. And if you want to, do whatever, pretty much you can do whatever over on Illinois. I don't know. Cannabis warehouses, that's another big thing people are starting to look into that I can certainly help with. You've got, I do want to give a shout out to Kim's friend Angie and the Trimmer Store. We went to a great open house there the other day, and I believe it's thetrimmerstore.com here in St. Louis. I think if you just Google the Trimmer Store, you'll come up. But they've got all these really cool machines for cannabis trimming, and you go there and you check them out like a library book. You go there, you sign up. They load this cool machine that's about the size of a cooler into the back of your vehicle, and it's all sterilized 100% and super clean. And you go home and you plug it in, you pour all your cannabis into it and hit the button, and it trims it. Comes out the other end all clean and tidy, and then all your trimmings are collected in a little Tupperware on the bottom for you to keep. And then when you're done, you just haul it all back to the place and turn it in, and they clean and sterilize it for the next guy or woman, whoever is your growing passion person. So it's a neat thing. It's a neat opportunity, and it certainly is a labor saver if you're sitting there trimming by hand all the time. Joe, Denver, Oklahoma City, and St. Louis. Yeah, those are places where people did stop. I assume that's what you're saying, Joe. It's good to communicate in full sentences. But yes, there's those googly skills you speak of. Well, I'm so glad to have Joe here chiming in. Joe Chisholm, let's talk about him for a little bit. He is an old school friend. We worked together in Telluride long ago. That's where we met. And our friendship has only grown over the years. And boy, I truly love and respect him. He is one hardworking, smart guy. I think he could easily be one of the hardest working and smartest men I know. And he's fun and funny, and he has an edge to him that I really do enjoy. Yeah. Oh, that's where the trimmer stores are. Yes, the trimmer stores. Well, there's one here now. There, yeah. One here now. So, and you can rent them in all those markets, Denver, Oklahoma City. And what's funny is she brought that up the other day when I was at Angie's store, is that Oklahoma City, what, growing a lot of weed there. So good on you, Oklahoma City. Good job. Clubs, that goes into music. This is a big week, especially for, as Joe mentioned, the Denver area. You had Billy Strings and Billy Kreutzmann together at Red Rocks. And then you had String Cheese, I think the last two nights at the Dillon Amphitheater up there. And those pictures looked like a lot of fun. Maybe a little rainy, but you're going to get that in Colorado. And then now I guess it's Thursday, so maybe they have a day off when they can drive all their crap that they carry from Dillon back to Denver, and then they're going to probably, I'm sure right now, loading into Red Rocks for shows tomorrow and the next day at Red Rocks. Well, I sure do wish I was going to be there, and I hope all you people that go, maybe wear a mask, wash your hands a lot, enjoy your time, because it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm sure I'm interested in what they do. Don Strasberg, at his lovely venue there, they put on a whole new grid system at the stage. So now they can just hang all these heavy things up above. And so, the sky's the limit now for the productions. I think they can do tons of cool stuff there. And that is just a super cool addition. I reached out to Don yesterday I sent him a text that said, because I know he can be a little stressed this time of year. I said, remember to have fun over this weekend. And he responded, okay. Just that I got okay back made me laugh. Good times. If you know Don, that's funny. All right, so back to my little map. All right, so I have the building that I listed here in St. Louis is it's called the Near North Riverfront. And if you look at St. Louis, obviously you've all seen it. You come in, there's the Arch, right in the middle of town. That's the riverfront. Well, north of the Arch a little bit, and not far from north of the Arch, is the building that I have listed that I'm going to come out about next week. But right near there, and it's always intrigued me, there's a street called Mound Street. And I don't know if you know a lot about the the St. Louis riverfront, or the St. Louis area, but this was the Native American culture that was here was called the Mississippian I want to say development, but that's not it. The Mississippian culture, Mississippian era. And it had the mound builders. They build these huge mounds. So like right across the river in Illinois, there's the Monk's Mound, which is this giant mound, and there's hundreds of mounds over there. And it was very similar to the Incan, they traded with the Incan tribes of Mexico. They had commerce back and forth between there. The rivers were huge and bountiful, and so they created all these mounds, either made like an effigy. Most were rectangular or square, and most were in Illinois. But there were an assortment here on top of the bluffs in the St. Louis area. And when I researched about Mound Street, that is where the largest mound was. And the French called it the Earth Barn was the big one, because I guess it was big as a barn, But there's a lot of cool pictures of it, and I'm trying to figure out, like this map that I showed earlier. This map shows kind of the original layout of some of them. I hope that's properly zoomed in and you can see it. But like that's the big one, and that was there at Mound Street in St. Louis. And there's a monument there marking it. And here's another map. That one shows North St. Louis, and it's showing kind of where the city ended here, right at the mounds. Right where that Indian development was, the Native American. And then there's bluffs, or the bluffs here along the river. This is like where the river came through, and then a lot more mounds on the other side of the river. And these are some original pictures and cross sections of the mound. They were huge. This one was a giant one. I wish. Is there a man? Yeah, see, there's somebody on the top of that for scale. There, it's how big it is. These are drawings. That's a cross section of it that somebody drew. And the original map was done by a man named, I wish I don't have that right now. I think it's T.R. Peale, Peale. He's the one that originally drew this one. This is T.R. Peale's original drawing of the mound, and he was one of the first Frenchmen here, and he drew that by hand. And what the record that I read is that him and a friend went out and actually took real measurements with lines and measured it out, so they got him accurately and laid him out. So that's what was there. So the big one here, I believe, I wish I had something to point with here. I do have a pencil. This one here, that's the one that is at the location of Mound Street in St. Louis. And so all these were around there. And the river is over here, so pretty neat. And I reached out to and I'm going to bring this up real quick. I've got to change pages here, but I found a woman that wrote an article on it, Maureen Kavanagh. And Maureen Kavanagh has a great book that she has written, and it's Hidden History of Downtown St. Louis, and it's for the History Press / Arcadia Publishing. She did it in 2017, and you can find it on Amazon. And I am certainly going to pick up a copy of this. That's once again Maureen Kavanagh, and her book is A Hidden History of Downtown St. Louis, available on the Amazons. And I reach out to her, and we're going to try and meet up. I'm going to try to learn as much as I can from her about this whole process and what is all remaining down there, and that goes back to that karst topography that I mentioned earlier about the springs. They come bubbling up out of the ground. Well, because of the karst topography, there are caves like this all under St. Louis, right? And so many of them are associated with these Native American sites. And then that is the reason that St. Louis has so many of these old breweries, like Anheuser-Busch and Falstaff and Limp. All these famous old breweries were located right in this area and just south of this area because of the huge natural cave systems that existed there under St. Louis. Cherokee Cave is a famous one, and there's 50 other ones that are all interconnected. There are all these underground tunnel systems underground St. Louis, which is a lot of the hidden St. Louis. Many of these buildings go down and become caves below them, like 50 to 100 feet of subterranean levels under some of these buildings that actually go out under the Mississippi and are actually full of water. It's crazy. I know, right? But it's a really cool thing here. And there's a lot of people that are wanting to learn more about the cavern systems and access them and see what's still down there. So many of them are still like they've been bricked, so that they can store beer. A lot of the beer was stored down there. They were like cold storage, natural cold storage. And that is why so many of the breweries were located here and built in this area. And I just think that's neat. So be sure to check out Maureen Kavanagh's book. And that's really it. I just wanted to go a half hour. I don't really have much more. That was kind of the end of it. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you, Joe, for chiming in as my one chimer. And that's really all I have. Please reach out if you have any questions. You can check out my website, grassoland.com, grassoland.com. If you have any interest in real estate needs, or you just want to chat. Maybe you want to be a guest on my show. I've got a chair right here. You can come sit right there and we can talk about stuff. I've had a couple guests, and I would love to have you. Take care. Have a lovely Thursday. Enjoy your weekend. Get out and do something fun. I guess I could have talked about fun things going on, but I don't have that in front of me right now. I will plug this, that Friday, and that's tomorrow. I'm actually going to look it up, so you can hold on. There was a bar here called the Shanty, and everybody loved it. It was run by a friend of mine, Teresa, and I know there is a Shanty reunion this weekend. Everybody should go. Here it is, the Shanty Family Reunion. Let's see. It is at the Soulard American Legion Hall, and that is the Soulard American Legion Hall. It can't be that hard to find, and it's this weekend. I wish this showed me more right now, but my computer's running slow, probably because I'm doing so much. Oh, it's at 5 p.m. on Friday. 5 p.m. Friday at the Soulard American Legion Hall. Be sure to go and check that out, everybody. The Shanty Family Reunion. And that's all I got now. That's really it. Be nice to one another. I don't know, make a new friend today. Learn something new. Go on an adventure. Stand out in the rain and watch the storms come through if you're here. And have a great day. That's all I got. Bye.